The other article we had kind of getting in the headlines today. It's a headline day, The other one we had was a CTV News article where it said Canada not in midst of housing bubble, the former housing and mortgage head states. So the former CEO of the CMHC, his name is Evan Seidel, and he basically says that he does not believe that we're in a bubble. He actually says, I really don't think we're in a bubble. This is a quote: if demand is going up and supply is not, prices will go up. That's not a bubble. So it's a question of what the future brings and whether there will be a supply and demand coming back into balance. And that's a crystal ball question. So one really interesting comment, I'll pass it off to you after this, Greg. Pierre Poilievre, who is an MP, who I'm sure some people have heard about if you've been following any of the pandemic information in Parliament. Not only are Canadians spending more when they buy a house, now they have to pay more on their taxes for the failed programs that this minister and government put into place to inflate the housing bubble to begin with, which I thought was a very interesting comment. Greg, what do you think about just this whole thing? Just basically, again, everyone, some people saying that we're in a bubble and people thinking that we just can't sustain this price mark where we are currently.
Well, it's interesting because you would assume that we're in a bubble because of the prices, due to the pricing and where it's been going over the last few years. But if you look at the numbers, you look at what the Liberals, plan to do. They plan to build 100,000 new homes in major cities by 2025, and there's 300,000 new immigrants coming to Canada every single year. So that's what are we? 2021. So we're 2022. So in 3 years, almost, that's 900,000 new immigrants. They plan to build 100,000 homes. So bottom line here is to keep up with this, we need builders, more builders in the private sector, just going crazy. And
yes,
for them to even get started, have permits, go through the process and have that many done. That needed to have been planned years ago, basically. So I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do. And of course, as we know, if they raise the interest rates, then the economy can collapse. But due to the stress test, it's a little bit more realistic for a lot of people just to maintain with what they have. I don't know. I just don't know. And again, the Liberals, 100,000 new homes in major cities, 2025. Are they even going to get started on that by then? I don't know. Mm-hmm. New election comes up, nothing's been done. Maybe they'll do 10. Let's be realistic. Maybe they will do 25,000 of that. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do 100,000. So then the private sector has to sustain the whole thing. More people getting taxed. I don't know. There's so many factors here. It's hard to predict or what's going to happen. Obviously, we know that, but I don't know. What do you think about all this?
Well, there's a couple things I think. So first of all, I think that I completely agree with you that there needs to be private sector support because ultimately, someone said it in the article, but we're talking literally about trillions of dollars in housing activity. And if it's a supply issue, not only is there a ridiculous amount of red tape that you have to go through just to even build a home, right? It takes, let's just say even 6 months and tens of thousands of dollars to just break ground on a new project. Right. And then on top of that, you're talking, it's just going to be the government that is basically planning to build these homes. They're not offshooting any of that to the private sector. Maybe this is a cliche, but things tend not to move so quickly within the government. Everyone's kind of, I know there's a lot of people that work very hard, but when you're talking about a massive project like this, where we need to have houses built yesterday, a year ago, 2 years ago, we need all hands on deck, right? We need to be having anyone who can literally build a home needs to be shovels in the ground building so that we can match this supply issue. And like you said, Greg, 100,000 homes, how quickly is that going to get done? Even if they said today, all builders, you can go ahead and, we're going to give you plots of land to start building homes. 100,000 homes doesn't happen overnight. That takes time to build. And just the bureaucracy of trying to get the ground broken on those 100,000 homes, I'm sure is going to be a nightmare for the next year to year and a half. And like you said, we're going to be 2024 and, there'll be, like you said, even generously a quarter of those homes built. And then by then, like we said, if home prices are going up 9% in 2022, it's probably going to be something quite similar in 2023 if there's a supply issue, maybe even more. So, The supply issue is literally the core of the issue. And if we're not addressing that seriously with any like true action, which I think we both agree, well, we know we both agree, there needs to be private sector activity, and they need to be helping with this demand to get the homes to where they need to be. If they want to have 100,000 homes in the next 3 years, you're going to need some hands on deck for that.